波のリズムを感じて連続得点なのだわ。はい、やっ剣の舞うままやっ私の番なのでさあやっオーラ今波しぶきが喜ぶのはまだ早いかもね。構えこれは夏だけの剣術。やっボディがお留守なのだわ。波のリズムを感じてごめん遊ばせ。アリスにさ波しぶきがザッポーハエトウ様のためにやっクラクレするよ。はっやっはっはっはっやっ潮風が頬を撫でる。
Damn it. Knocked me out of my way, so I missed my... Smacked me out of my way and then fucked up my button press. Yeah, because I have to hold it down to drain. And so basically, it failed. Because the timing was off. I released too early. And I got fucked.
波のリズムを感じてごめん遊ばせ。剣の舞うままはいアリスに気をつけて今度ファイトウスのためにや離れてやいちいち相手してられないのだわ。
Okay, that's all my dailies. I'm just gonna hop by the supermarket real quick. Can't remember if I bought my weekly shit this week. Mainly because I want to make sure this, because like it drains about like $500,000 to buy everything, but it is kind of useful because it also allows me to buy. Oh god damn it! It also allows me to. Oh, I didn't. Okay. It allows me to buy experience for my drive sets. Well, not drive sets. The artifacts, the relics, whatever. Your equipment. It also provides me some like leveling up materials, which is kind of useful. all of random shit. It eventually builds up, so like basically when I get a character, even if I wasn't like prepared to build them, because because I bought this stuff. Oh look, electricity, attacking stuff. It makes it easier to build. But it's the aether plating stuff that really helps. But now that shit. Crap, did I go to this yesterday? Shit, it's 2 days. I'm pretty sure I've only done this one day, which means I don't know how long this was going for. Hopefully only 5 days, but then, yeah, I still missed one. I do find it kind of annoying, like, so the game constantly fucking reminds you. Constantly. Like, when I open up my thing, it's like, oh, hey, by the way. Okay, polar. Oh, they increased the cap. I have 17 of these. Okay, before, it used to be a cap of 10, which sucks. Okay, not only mastery, defense, obviously trash, unfortunately. HP. Anomaly, what the fuck? Why anomaly mastery for this? Okay, whatever. Also, the subsets are dog shit. But yeah, as you see here, oh look, a bunch of new stuff. The Deadly Assault, well, actually is new, but like for the first part of the week, these were also Hollow Zero, and this was also regarding as new. So it constantly reminds me about that shit. What I really hate is it doesn't remind me of this, It doesn't remind me of this at all. So I keep forgetting about it because it doesn't happen that frequently. Tell me when it started. No. Just give me the calendar. How long did it go for? Inverted? No, I don't think it's that. Yeah, the unfortunate thing is, because this is the photo events. These are actual events, not the simple one. This one? Yeah. Okay, here we go. So it started at 29th. Server time. So 29th. So it's the 31st. But 29th to 3rd. So it is a 5 day. Okay, so it's a 5 day thing. So I might have missed one day. Because right now I have 2 more days to do this. It's obviously 17 hours to complete this day. And then 2 more days. So I did at least one day before. I did today. And there's 2 more. So I might have missed yesterday. So I think I only popped in real quick to like spend my stamina, so I didn't bother checking. But like, yeah, that's the kind of thing I would like a reminder for. Please remind me every day about this one. Please remind me that there's a new one. Because I don't come here often. Like, I basically only come to this location once a week to do my weekly hunts and my Hollow Zero, and that's it. I only come here once a week just to do these 2 things and never come back. So him with his, like, that, like, I'm not looking at that, And there's been lots of times where it's like, oh, I mean, they do notify me when the event starts, which is good, right? But the problem is they don't notify me every day. And this is what, like, so fucking annoying too, is that, like, this expert challenge, as an example, kept saying new, like, I don't know, like, every day for this week. I mean, I don't know, like, I can't remember when it stopped. It's a bad example now that the thing I was complaining about is no longer there. But basically, this expert challenge, the miasmic Minato one, kept saying new every single time. Every time I logged in for like a week after the patch, I'd come in here to like spend my daily shit, and training would have a little exclamation mark because the expert challenge Minato would have a new flag next to it. Combat for Notorious Hunt, Hollow Zero would both have new flags. Even though I did it earlier in the week, they would still be considered new. Oh, there's new. You have to go over and hover over it to remove the new flag. And that was like for a literal, like for days after I've done both of these. So both of these are complete. So clearly I've done them, but they would still say new. And it's just like, dude, are you fucking kidding me? You keep fucking annoying me with all these new things, these new flags for things that I've already used up this weekly allowance for. What the fuck are you bugging me about this shit for? Yet, for this one, they don't remind you ever. They just remind you that the event starts, and then no other day do they ever say, oh, by the way, you have this. If you're not coming to look at your events for whatever reason, you'll miss it. And the only reason I kind of remembered, because I was going into the event. And I was like, wait a minute, I remember doing that. So, like, it is a little frustrating, those, like, double rewards thing. Because they do remind you, they do alert you, and have a new flag for something that just started. But after it starts, they just don't give you shit. They don't remind you at all about it. But anyway, I'm really continue. I'm going to start Lucia's character quest because I had started Yadhari's. I didn't expect Yadhari. Based on the rewards for Yadhari's, I actually had expected it just to be purely combat because all the rewards were like, oh yeah, just here's a list of combat arenas. So I thought it was just going to be like combat, right? Like a combat thing that kind of like lets us use Yadhari. So it's like, oh look, here's a bunch of combat things where you have to be Yadhari or Yadhari in a variety of teams type thing. So because there have been stuff like that where it's like, oh yeah, here's a bunch of arenas to fight in. The first one will be like Yadhari by herself. Here's some like things you should do to get like 3 stars, and then the next one will be like, okay, Yadhari and one teammate kind of thing. Because they've done this before where they were like, oh, here's this new character. Okay, well this new character will be in this team. Like here's a combat arena that kind of gets you used to that character, and then like we'll have a bunch of new stuff. So I was kind of expecting that, and so I was surprised when they're like, when I went in to do it, and it was like, oh no, it's actually a completely different thing. A completely different thing, where like the completely different combat, where it's like, yeah, you're controlling ethereals in a turn-based, Expedition 33 type fight, where you actually have to like dodge and hit your things, hit your quick time events to do extra damage and stuff. I was surprised at that. So I'm like, oh, okay, well that's gonna be like actually involved. Then if it's gonna be that involved, I'm like, well, I'll do Lucia's quest then. I thought it was gonna be some quick little thing, like okay, because I know what's involved for these. I know what's involved for these ones, for the character quests. The character quests, they have the story. Story takes about like 2 hours or so, depending on how much like combat and story there is. Maybe 2 to 3. But I'm also not in a super rush for that. But I mean, I do only have 23 days to do it, so it's like I want to do this, and then Yadhari's also has 23 days, and then who knows? And then Yadhari's actually gonna like show up next week, so who knows what other stuff is going to... Well, actually, not who knows what other stuff is going to be introduced. We know. We literally just saw the schedule a second ago. I did see that there were some upcoming events, so I don't think they're going to be as involved as this. I think these are the patch-wide things, but even still, I still want to make sure I'll do this one first, and then go on to Yadhari's. I also wanted to do this one first because we got Lucia first, and so I might as well do her patch first, because who knows... The assumption might be that, oh yeah, you did Lucia's first before Yadhari's, because Yadhari's comes out second, but in the second half. So I'm like, just in case. Oh, actually, one sec. But yeah, so that's why I'm gonna. Now that I know that the Atari's one is going to be slightly involved, um, I'll do this one first because Lucia is the on-patch thing. Let's get this done. Just in case there are some references, it seemed like Atari's one is completely independent from Lucia, so it shouldn't be. There shouldn't be any prerequisites other than just doing the main story, which I did first, obviously. Because obviously you meet both of them, Lucia and Hidari, in the main story patch, so it'd be kind of confusing. Especially, there's been a lot of references so far of like Hidari and her powers and stuff. So if you didn't do the main story, you wouldn't really understand what any of that meant. You know, the fact that she wasn't able to see faces for a lot of things because of her powers, what her powers are. I mean, Hidari's quest, the Hidari event, even set like mentions. I think it kind of mentions her past because obviously this whole thing she's going to therapy to kind of deal with her past. But if you don't do this main story quest, you don't realize, what she had to deal with in her past. You know, the fact that her parents died, she has this power. Kind of. Honestly, I don't even know what her power is. Like, it's like his power to dream or something. Because like they kind of needed her asleep, and her power like freaks out. Then I guess she can like see dead people, but it's like accentuated during hollows, and she's able to like recreate scenes of the past. But I'm not even sure like how, right? Like, but then again, it's just like quote unquote, oh, it's ether, it's magic, it's whatever, right? It's one of those like random powers and abilities. So it's hard to say, why it happens, or even how, but it does. So we just take it as rote, and that's fine. Like, we don't need them to explain everything. Like, people can have weird powers. Like, Miyabi has a cursed blade. They haven't explained like what the cursed blade is and where it came from. Besides, it's a long. Her family has had it for a long period of time, but like because you don't need to explain like the minutia of everything in a world that already kind of like you can't have a world with no powers and then just introduce someone with a power like that and not explain it at all, right? Like, that would make no sense because it would be weird in and of itself, and so people would make a big deal about it. But in a world like this, where there is a lot of people with unusual and strange abilities, and a world of monsters and hollows and dimensional rifts and shit like that, sure, right? It's not completely out of place, which is fine. So, like,
やっぱり起きてた。 当たり前でしょ。寝るにはまだ早すぎるもん。ふふん、実はこんなに早く最近私のエーテリアス研究が行き詰まっちゃっててさ。うわ、それはぎっちり。まあハルラーネをフォローのキャンプにソファーとしてか、サティロスの体についてる信号機に交通ルールの概念があるのか調べるとか。あ、そうそう、スペクターのマントをさ、左右でキュッと結んじゃよくそんなどこから？フォローの中に決まってるじゃん。何週でもなんかね、今のとどんどん湧いてくるって言ったそばからもうさては君、私が解体屋に立つ。まあ自覚はあったんだ。やっぱファイヤーサーペントくらいパンチのあるネタじゃないとダメだね。ブラストスパイダーばっかりじゃそのうちみんなそうなる前に私がヨマの小説。ヨマか。まあ今はエーテリアスってことにしとこうかな。おっと、君はどう？エーテリアス。 まあフォローは広いからね。ありえない話じゃないとは思うよ。私だって。いやまあね、わかるよ。今回は見つけちゃったんだよね。フォローの前にまずはフラッフィーに行って何するの？ちょっとね、おもちゃを買っておきたくて。おお、ペットを飼い始めたの？まだ飼ってないよ。でもトゲなしって子犬の中でもとびきりいい子になると思うんだ。なるほど、ワンちゃんともっと仲良くなるためのおもちゃってことね。そうそう。でもそれフォローに持ち込むの？いらっしゃいませ。子犬と仲良しになりたいんだけど、何を買ったらいいかな。ワンちゃんに懐いてもらう、優しく辛抱強く接してあげること。本当なんです。優しく辛抱強く情熱を。別にあの子はトゲなしは。私そういう子をたくさん知ってます。捨てられちゃった子。そうですね、一本のジャーキーの中にいろんな種類の。ごめんなさい。いいのいいの、ちょっぴり。そうなんです。それじゃあこちらはいかがですか？当店で一番人気のおもちゃです。わ、これはいい感じ。ごめんなさい。これ主に猫ちゃん向けであんまり頑丈じゃない。トゲなしはそれは困りましたね。そうです、最新のアイテム、いわゆる抱き枕ですね。すっごく丈夫で歯固めにもなるんですけど、ワンちゃんの嗅覚じゃないと感じ取れないかもしれませんが。かわいいね。でもトゲなしにはどうだ。大きくて好き嫌いがあって何がおかしいのさ。
Yeah, Chestnut's obviously a theory.
毎度ありがとうございます。なってみせるよ。朝夢になっちゃった。真夜中、夏らしいことが。探検日和だよ今日は。ビーチにお散歩で。真夜中の大冒険。どこだろうと。夏らしい今日の歌。安女は何かを。みんなの期待が最高のイントロ。深呼吸していざ幕開けね。みんなの期待が戦場。姉弟子参上です。あっちに行ってみよっか。
助けてくれ。
あれって前に来た時は割と平和だったんだけどな。エーテリアスがあんまりいなかったってこと？だっていたんだけどのんびりしてたっていうか、こんな風に集まるのは珍しいよ。エーテリアスがのんびり？
お前らが来てくれて助かった。 ずる賢いハティめ。
ハティ？どのハティのこと？君を囲んでた
なあ、普通のより一回り何もかもあいつのせいだ。
エーテリアスにおびき寄せられたってんで？
いや、俺を先導する。
変なの？
変ってことはないだろう。
いやいやいや、変。フォローでエーテリアスについてく人なんてレアだもん。本当におじさんの言うくらい小さなハティなら追いかけなきゃよかったんじゃない？
いや、だから俺が普通にフォローを歩いてたらそのハティが急に飛び出してきたんだ。
ますます変な。05フォローにいるエーテリアス強制隊ならそのチビハティも同じことが。
ジョーちゃんが何を言ってんのかさっぱりだな。あのハティはまだその辺をうろついてるかもしれん。
おじさんさ、ついさっき
まったく。
ねえ、あははそれにだってさっきから言ってるトゲなし。そうだよ、あの子と知り合ってからそれなりに経つけど、フォローの外から来た人を傷つけたことなんて。前も私のキャロットがこの辺でダメになっちゃったんだけど、あの子通り過ぎるふりして私にハティが一匹フォローで救助犬をやってる。私が目をかけてる理由は別にあるんだ。ただ変なのはあの子、最近見かけるたびに友好的。まあとにかくもうちょっと周りを探してみない？またひょっこり出てきてくれるかも。トゲなしはあっちに行ったみたい。探しに行こう。ご褒美をあげる。平気、きっとあがいても無駄なの。安らかに眠って。君の 示しよではボンって叩くだけ運な気の空参上サポート参上ここは任せてちょうだいチルしましょう物語夢の海に帰ろうそれトゲなしいるんでしょ尻尾が見えてるよ伝わったトゲなしは昔から私の言うことがわかるんだよあれ気に入らなかった惜しかった。あの調査員にびっくりしちゃったのかな。じゃあまた今度そうだね。そう私実はね、私のかいつまんで言うとトゲなしはヨマが夢の中ヨマの話は今までもしてたけどもう知ってると思うけど、私は新エリートの言い伝えによると私たちの先祖は強大なエーテリアスと出会って何日も一族の人間が眠りにつくと時々夢にヨマが現れて無遊するみたいにフォローへ導かれちゃうんだ。何度もそんなことを繰り返してるうちに一度に大勢がそれ以来私たちは都市の辺境に移り住んで夜は眠らないようになったの。でもね、ヨマとの戦いがもたらしたのはそれだけじゃなかったの。それとこの杖、先祖たちがヨマと戦ってた時代の武器で唯一現代に族長曰く私は若い世代の中で一番才能があって。ヨマの夢を見たヨマモリ人は無遊状態ないよ。つい最近ね、おばあが私のその時にヨマのことや一族がヨマに抱いている恐れについて教えてくれた。おばあ自身が夢で見たヨマのことも、みんなが言う通り神様、その夜私が夢に見たのはヨマの視線だけ。それはあの子は戦い疲れたみたいにぐったりしてて、その時はお互い夢が指し示した場所でトゲなしを見つけたのはその後だった。懐いてきたわけじゃ、だからずっと思ってたんだ。私にも。でもトゲなしがすっごくいい子なのは確かだし、
Well, it's far more likely that the chestnut was actually fighting against the night terror. It could be that. Maybe that's it. Maybe chestnut represents the ethereal that she herself would turn into if she was consumed by ether and the night terror. Maybe that's it, you know? And so, like, I don't know, like, yeah, maybe that burst of power implanted, like, a seed of ether into every single one of them. And so that seed grows until it finally can be, like, it lures them into the, so that seed provides a connection to the night terror that's still in recovery. And, and then when it lures you into a hollow, the seed grows until it finally blooms and turns you into ethereal.
もっと言うと、ヨマトだってトゲなしみたいに心を通わせることなんて。そんなことない。まあ私の話は一族のみんなにもぶっ飛びする。
The other thing though is that if somehow the night terror implanted something into you, it could be something that Yishuan or the Yunhui Summit could detect and cure, right? They said there's no cure, right? But there could be, because if something is inside you. Now, obviously, if it's in your psyche, then you're kind of fucked. It's not like it would be a physical thing. But if it's something like that's in your body somewhere, then maybe they could detect it. And you might think, oh, someone would have detected it already. Well, not necessarily, because they never really had a connection to the Yunqui Summit. They might have never even tried asking them. Or they might have asked them, but they were turned away, right? So it could be that they were never really looked at. Or maybe they didn't even try to get looked at. Maybe they just went to a doctor, and the doctor couldn't see shit, because he's not, he can't detect ether and miasma and shit. It also could have been one of those things that happened. Well, it's hard to say when it happened, right? Because maybe it only affects the currently existing ones, and maybe the new generation doesn't have it. And the only reason Lucia has that fragment in her is because she was alive at the time when it released its power, right? It's hard to say because we don't know when this happened. It was hundreds of years ago. Unlikely, considering 11 years ago is when that big catastrophe happened. That seems a far more likely time of when the Night Terror was reigning and doing shit 11 years ago when they lost the old Eridu capital. Or at least with around that time, right? So it's far more likely that it happened around 10 to 11 years ago, in which case Lucia would have been alive. So it could be that as long as, you don't ever get consumed, once all the currently alive people of your tribe are dead, 50 years, 100 years down the line, no more of the Night Terror seeds will exist. And so he won't be able to ever recover his power at that point. So, and then, it's hard to say, whenever this happened, because they might have gotten immediately checked. They might have been like, oh shit, let's go get checked. Went to the doctors. And maybe doctors now would be better at it, right? Maybe our technology has improved to the point where we could detect whatever is affecting them. So the problem is they checked once. If they checked once, maybe. We don't know, because she didn't actually say, yes, we went and got checked. She alluded that they got checked. She mentioned that, yeah, it's not curable. So it makes it seem like you wouldn't say it's not curable if you didn't get checked. So it could be that they went to a doctor, but just technology at the time just wasn't able to detect whatever they have. Maybe technology is better. And maybe it's something that cannot be detected by technology, but like the Yunqui Summit, with their mysticism, might be able to find it, So, hard to say, obviously. He's bird out for a walk. Interesting. Wait, what? Yeah, follows right. But why does he screams, right? Especially when you say all I do is follow his bark and call, but it's well, if you're gonna call it bark, then why don't? It's still he barks at me. I don't obey. He barks. I don't quite understand why she says screams then. It'd be one thing if she's like, nope, I refer to all barks as screams. But like, no, you can call it a bark later, so it's like, kind of weird. Also, it's like you wouldn't ever really call what an animal does screaming. You know, most. But, yeah, whatever. Yeah, to bark and scream. So clearly you differentiate them, but like, he's a dog. He doesn't scream. He only barks. That's it. Unless they mean whine. Because the barks do whine. Like, because they bark, whine, and yelp. That's like pretty much the noises they make. You know, probably not a yelp, right? Probably more of a whine. If it's to try to get her to do something. So it's kind of weird you would call it a scream. God, when's my screaming? What the fuck is it doing? What the fuck is a scream? A dog scream? That is nice. That's a cool little, like, I like that kind of story where it's like, yeah, you just didn't really give a shit. Because, like, to be fair, yeah, like, turtles are not like the most. I mean, I like turtles. Turtles are cool, but like, if you're a child, you want a pet that is like usually more active. But like, you know, we have lots of pets. So, you know, you have a pet snake, you can have a pet bird, both of which kind of just stay in their cage tank, you know. So like, they're not super active at all. But yeah, I get it. Like, if everyone else has a dog or a cat or something that is active and moves around a lot, then yeah, a turtle seems slow by comparison. Yeah, I don't have much time left, so I'll start the quest, and the second they try to suck me into the hollow, I'll put a pin in it, and we'll do this tomorrow. We'll continue tomorrow.
何があったの？ユマが出たの。一族のみんな族長が無遊状態でラマニアンフォロイ。どうしてそんなこと？何日か前、族長のところへお願いに来た人がいたんだって。ユマ守人とユマの力について知りたい以上のことはなくて、何か起きたらすぐ起こすって言ってた。でもその後何か言い争う。いやいや、もうすでに怪しいじゃん。でもなんだかんだすぐ帰ったらしいんだ。
Well, it's also like weird, right? Because like, so what, they induced him to sleep? Like, what do you mean? I guess they could have kidnapped him. Because like, realistically, the whole point is that you have. Well, the weirder thing is that doesn't most of your tribe sleep at night? Like, or because they did kind of mention it and say, oh yeah, we sleep at night. Well, we have watchers, so like if you need to rest during the night, there's a watcher to, you know, make sure you don't go away. But then it's like, it seems just safer for everyone to be nocturnal, right? Like, why don't you just make everyone nocturnal? But I guess I could understand if it's like, oh well, not everyone's nocturnal because maybe you need to do dealings with the world, and the world isn't nocturnal. So you could have a few people who remain in a normal day-night cycle to interact with the rest of the world. But even still, you think it'd be safe for everyone to be. And also, there are watchers, regardless. So if anyone does need to sleep, there'd be someone to monitor them. So why is the chief, why was no one monitoring the chief? The only possible explanation for that would be he was kidnapped first, and then from a unwatched location where the kidnappers had him, he fell asleep and was drifted into the tribe and into the hollow.
私はずっと族長からもらった杖を持ち歩き、お守り人は夢に遊び、いつしかあまねくエーテルの異なりて、フォロー族長から人として生きる機会を奪う。
Oh, shit. Crap, it's taking me in already. It's a little, I don't have time. Like, I don't know how long it's going to be. I imagine it's going to be kind of a lengthy one. So I'll just chill. Wait, can I? Yeah. Let's pop out. Okay. There we go. Yeah, unfortunately, it moved too quickly because obviously I didn't know what it was going to be. So yeah, unfortunately, it was a quick little, oh shit, something happened. We have to go in immediately. I'm like, ah, crap. So there's no, I couldn't have well, I guess I could have expected that we'd have something to do with the Night Terror. I assume that Chestnut's going to help us. Hopefully we're going to beat it like once and for all. But it's really hard to tell, honestly, because like it could be like, oh look, we find him super quick, and then we leave, and then we have more story outside, or it could be like a long string of fights as we have to like fight our way through a bunch of stuff. So it is interesting too, is that like this tribe knows about the Night Terror, but like, who are the random people who showed up? Like, why would they know about it, right? Like, it seems that they would have kept most of the stuff pretty close to the chest. So, well, either way, I'm going to go ahead and call it for now. I will be back on... okay, so there was the new live letter, so I really have to get into Final Fantasy XIV. I started playing Do It Night Abyss, and haven't really been logging into Final Fantasy XIV because I've been like putting stuff on my, I'm streaming, not streaming stuff, like watching videos stuff on my PlayStation and playing Do It Night Abyss on my PC because I can only do it on PC, and I don't know. I thought I was going to stop, but then I saw a video. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I thought the characters were like, you have to pay for the characters, but like, oh, okay, I just misunderstood that, and now I kind of have a better understanding of like how to get characters and weapons. I'm like, okay, I guess it's not super bad anymore. And although one thing I do dislike about the game is that movement when you're going through wide areas is fine. Like it feels zippy and stuff like that. Problem is that it's not precise enough for some of the puzzles, which can lead to a lot of frustrating moments where your like characters like slides off of stuff because like you don't grab onto anything, and it's like, you have to be incredibly precise with your leaps, and it's just kind of annoying because it's kind of like really hard to correct yourself, and more often than not you'll end up failing. So that can get frustrating because of the lack of precision in movement. It's fine when you're going across big areas because it's like, yeah, who gives a shit, right? But that is a suffering thing. And then like the grindiness of the like stuff is a little too much. Like, well, and it would be relatively fine if it wasn't so much movement, because like every single like zone you go into to do your grindy shit, where it's like, oh, I need more money, I need more character experience, I need to farm for this or that. They put you in a humongous map, and all your objectives are so fucking far from each other. Where it's like, oh, you need to go here and collect serum, and so you have to go to specific locations on the map or kill enemies. So killing enemies will get you some. And then there's locations on the map that you get 15% of the total you need, so of 100%. So if you get a totem, it's 15%, but you can also kill enemies for like 5 and 10, depending on the enemy. And it seems semi-random because it's not like every enemy, it's like groups or something. I'm not sure. But the problem is the maps are huge, and like the totems are taking you like 500 meters away. So you're like going 500 meters to get to one totem, and then they just like appear so at random, really far locations from each other. It is really annoying. And then like other shit too, like pretty much everything puts you in a very like I think it's like the same map every single. Well, actually, no, I think there's like two maps. But like there's these two maps, both of them are huge, and a lot of the times your objectives are really fucking far away. Where it's like, oh yeah, kill a certain number of enemies, and even for the ones that are like, oh, kill a certain number of enemies, oh, kill 40 enemies, okay, that's fine, just kill. But then they don't put 40 enemies in one big arena. No, it's they put groups of enemies around this huge map, so you have to chase after them. So it's like a lot of most of your time is actually spent chasing after the enemies. And then after you beat them, you have to go to an extraction point. So then you have to travel even more. And so like most of the time in all of these things is spent just moving, getting to the next objective. And I think that's shit. Like it's way too much time wasted moving. And it's like, dude, this is already a grind, and you're expecting us to do this like a lot of times. Could you stop like wasting our time making these excessively big maps? Like, so that is unfortunate. I don't like that. But those are my main two complaints so far. The story has been fine. Side quests are fine. The main story is actually kind of interesting, so I just need to focus more on that. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and call it now. I'll be back on later, play more Final Fantasy XIV, because I need to do my frontline roulettes. And then there's my weekly Alliance raid as well. So anyway, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all